trusty defensive center that you can count on. Who are some of the guys you've had in your career that maybe he's reminding you of, and how important is that guy in a grinded out game like this to have on your team?
Well, he's a player that you trust all the time, and you trust in every situation. His hockey sense obviously is through the roof. He's a smaller version for me of Primo. He's just on the right side of everything. He's on the right side of every puck. So whoever you play him with, you build good minutes. And, he's a guy that can talk players. He can control things on the power play. Like he's obviously smaller, but he's a lot like Joe was, Nieuwendyk was too. Just good in every aspect of the game.
Ryan Spooner scored, and that fourth line or 3.5 line or whatever you want to call them was pretty good tonight. Yeah,
they gave us 9 minutes. If the coach was a little smarter, he would have played him more. But we got good minutes from him, and if that's the type of game they're going to get moving forward, then we will end up with 2 third lines, which is exactly what we need.
And do you have an idea where Spooner should play yet?
Jim, I like him at center. I got to tell you, I like him more at center than I do on the wing. I think on the wing, he ends up on the outside of the rink and on the perimeter of the game too much. And I think by putting him in the middle, he's a smart player. He's a good skater. And we use him on matchups where, when you're playing a group down the lineup a little bit, he can take some risks, but I like him at center. What I've seen so far, I like him even when we've got practice, I like him at center. So I think that's a good spot.
And Ratty, considering he'd sat out a couple of games, was very good tonight as well?
Yeah, Ratty to me, JJ's a good player. I didn't know much about Korea. I didn't know much about what he was like, but he's a solid, good player. And Ratty's, like I said, we were looking for something different. When we found out it wasn't what we wanted, we knew we could go back to Ty, and that's what we've done. So the way Ty's played, he's deserved big cracks here, and there's going to be some real competition for that line. Who's going to play on it and stuff like that.
Ken, you said this morning that tonight's game would really be the test. We pulled out a win. Do you think how the team played is a reflection of how they can play and reflection of what you said this morning?
Well, what I liked about the game was the way we played in the third period. We managed the game. We did smart things that took away their strengths, and I thought the way we played in the third period was really good. That to me is the maturity of a team. We didn't over pursue and give up a bunch of odd man rushes and crack. We stayed with the program, bought time, and then got our chance, and boom, it was in the net. I think what our team's doing right now is maturing. We're starting to understand 60 minutes is a long time, 2.5 hours is a long time, and we're prepared to play the right way, or starting to learn to play the right way, to sit on it, to wait for our cracks. And that's the way you win in this conference. You got to be prepared to stay on the program. And that doesn't mean just backing up and playing defense, but that means being on the right side of the puck a lot. And we're starting to learn that. At the start of the game, we were amped up, and we got on the wrong side of everything. And then when we settled down halfway through the first period and started to play, we really started to play well. And we continued that. And that's how you win in this league. If you want to get points every night, that's how you win.
Ken, you've only had a chance to coach Connor McDavid for a few games now, but when he's really going like he was tonight, what's going through your head when you're behind the bench watching him?
Well, I think, there's some guys, when you say you're even with a guy, that's an advantage for the offensive player. I see people panic when he's on the ice, and he's 2 steps in front of you, and panic's already in place. I've never seen a player like that in my life. I've never seen a player be able to do what he does 2 steps in front of a player. I've never seen anything like this. And to be that quick, that quickly, to get off the mark like that is like a sprinter. And he's on a one-on-one, and he's right in front of you, and you're in trouble. And I've never seen a player that can do that. And I've been in it a long time. This is the first time I've ever seen this. This is maybe Pavel Bure, maybe a little bit like that. But other than that, this is such an incredible player.
Ken, maybe this is a little bit further to what Jess was asking, but you mentioned you wanted 8 or 9 days for this team to implement the changes. You threw something out like that. How are they taking to the changes you want to incorporate, and are you starting to see them play the way you want them to?
No. And it's not their fault. We've had no practices. Everything we need to do to get better, we have to practice. We're trying to do it on video. We're trying to talk through it during games. We're trying to talk through it on the off days, but we haven't been able to practice. It's like every game there's a list of things that I want to work on. We just don't have time. We get a next team practices in St. Louis, and when we practice, we get better quickly. And that's what we've got to do, is find ways to practice, because the stuff that we need to work on, you got to repeat all the time, and we haven't had a chance to do it. So I really admire what the players are doing right now. They've done a heck of a job for not having, we've had 2 full hockey practices, that's it. And that's not near enough if you want to be a really good team. But our players have really adapted, and I really think they deserve a lot of credit for playing as well as they've played. But there's so many little detailed things offensively that we haven't been able to implement that we need to put into our game if we expect to be good.
Ken, you mentioned about wide open first 10 minutes. Koskinen, was that one of those games where if they score a couple of goals, you're down 2-0 before the game's 5 minutes gone?
Yeah, they came at us with a championship mentality at the start of the game. They wanted to put us on our heels and keep us there. And we had to dig in and fight back. And I think we would have been okay getting down a goal. Down 2, chasing the game would have been a little bit of trouble, but they came out white hot. And no matter how much you tell them that this is what they're going to do, this is what championship teams do, they try to put you away early. We weren't up to the pace, but then we got there. About 11 minutes left in the first period, we really got there and we pushed back hard. So again, that's kudos for our guys. That's a big step to be able to push back that hard, because they were coming at us in waves.